Lesson 20.2, Task 4. Multiply two monomials. Use the information in the photo to write equations that give the following quantities as functions of the number of 50 cents increase, or a 50-cent price increase, the magazine's price, the number of subscribers, and the monthly revenue from magazine sales. Then find the sales price that maximizes monthly revenue and the maximum revenue. All right, so if you look at the picture, it shows the price of the monthly magazine is $4 per issue. The magazine has 8,000 subscribers. For each 50-cent increase in price, the magazine will lose 500 subscribers. All right, so as the magazine cost goes up, less people are going to purchase the magazine. So basically, they're going to lose 500 customers by raising the price. All right, so it says let X equal the number of the 50-cent price increase. Let P of X, S of X, and R of X be the magazine's price, the number of subscribers, and the monthly revenue for magazine sales. So the magazine's price would be P of X, the number of subscribers would be S of X, and the monthly revenue for magazine sales, the revenue would be R of X. All right, so it says P of X equals, all right, so this is the price. So the price is going to equal $4 plus 50-cent increase for each magazine. Magazine, remember, is X. All right, so S of X, all right, S of X is the number of subscribers. So the subscribers is going to be 8,000 minus 500 times X. Okay, and the minus 500 times X, remember when there's a price increase, 500 people decided they're not going to purchase the magazine anymore. All right, and then R of X. The revenue is going to be the price and then times the subscribers. So we're going to have 4 plus 0.5x, that's right here, 4 plus 50 cents x, times 8,000 minus 500x. Remember, when you multiply two binomials, you have to do distributive property. So they're going to do 4 times each term here, and then do the second term in the first binomial by each term in the second binomial. All right, once they do that, they get 2 terms in the middle with x, and they can combine those terms. So they're writing this in standard notation. Remember, that means your highest exponent down. So they moved the negative 250x squared to the front, and then they combined negative 2,000 plus 4,000x to the middle for 2,000x, and then plus 32,000 on the end. So this right here represents R of X, which is your revenue for the magazine sales. All right, so it says match the terms for the equation for S of X to their meanings in context. All right, so the number of subscribers with the initial magazine price of $4, the charge in the number of subscribers. So the number of subscribers with the initial magazine cost, remember that was 8,000. And then the charge in the number of change in the number of subscribers. The minus 500x was what happened when they raised the cost of the magazine. All right, so it says, why does R of X equal the product of P of X and S of X? All right, so revenue is always going to be like what you make from selling something. So you always have to take account, like you make money if whatever you sell, like the cost of making that is less than the cost you sell it for. So let's see how they word that here. Since R of X represents the revenue from the magazine sales, revenue is determined by multiplying the price of the magazine and the number of magazines sold. All right. Let's see, R of X is a quadratic function. We know that because it was an x squared term. that has a maximum value when x equals 4. So the magazine price that maximizes revenue is P of 4. So 4 plus 50 cents times 4 equals $6. So the maximum monthly revenue is R of 4, and that would be $36,000 when you plug 4 into the equation and solve. All right, that is all for task 4. If you have any questions, let me know. Lesson 20.2, task 5. Divide two models. A shipping company organizes boxes with width x in centimeters. The volume of a box is given by V of x equals x cubed plus 8x squared plus 15x. And the area of the box's base is B of x equals x times x plus 5. What function represents the box's height? All right, so if you know two sides, you know volume is length times width times height. We know that we have to figure out what the third side is. Since we're given the total volume, that should not be too hard to do. So let's look at what they have. Use the fact that the volume of a rectangular prism is the product of the prism's base height and its height, base area and its height. So V of x equals B of x, base, times H of x, height. So x cubed plus 8x squared plus 15x equals x times x plus 5 times H of x. All right, so what they're going to do is divide these two. So what we're going to do is first factor this top expression. So if you remember factoring, first we have to look for our greatest common factor. So let's go ahead and factor this out. So we've got x cubed plus 8x squared plus 15x. So the first thing we're going to do is factor out our greatest common factor. In this case, there's no number, but there is a variable of x. So I'm going to factor x out of each term, which means each exponent is reduced by 1. All right, so I'm going to bring x to the bottom. That's part of my answer. But now I'm going to try to factor this binomial. So how am I going to do that? I'm going to rewrite, I'm going to find two numbers that multiply to give me 15 and add to give me 8. So I've got 1 and 15 and 3 and 5. So the two numbers that I need are 3 and 5. So I'm going to rewrite this as x squared plus 3x plus 5x plus 15. So you can see all I did was rewrite this middle term in a different form. All right, so now I can look at these as two separate binomials. And all I'm doing is grouping using parentheses. So again, I'm just rewriting things. I'm not changing anything, trying to rewrite it in factored form. Now, the first binomial, they have a common factor again, so factor out an x. And I'm left with x plus 3. And then this binomial has a 5. So factor out a 5, I have x left. And factor a 5 out of 15, I have 3 left. 5 times 3 is 15. All right, so now you can see that these two binomials are the same. So now that is my greatest common factor. So I'm going to pull that out here. And then the two terms I have left make up my next binomial. So x plus 5. If I had pulled out a negative, this would be negative, but I pulled out a positive. That's a plus 5 and a plus 3 because that was a plus 8. So the signs do matter, but in this case, they are all positive. So you can see right here, they have factored that expression. And then anything divided by itself equals 1. So once it's in factored form, you can see that the x's reduce and the x plus 5's reduce. And that leaves just x plus 3. So your height is x plus 3. And if you wanted to check this, you could multiply these three sides together and you should get the volume. All right, so the function h of x is x plus 3, represents the box's height. All right, so let's see. Let's move this out of the way. Let's see what's next. So it says, what property justifies the steps shown? So what property justified this? This was division. So division property justified that. And it says, put the steps of the factorization problem in order. All right, so let's see if I can back up here. Here's my steps where I factored. I'm going to get rid of some of this stuff here. All right, so you can see that here are the steps that we did. So what did we do? First, we factored out an x. So the first thing we did was factor out an x. The next step was we rewrote the middle term as 3 and 5. And then they skipped this next step and they went straight to the factored form. So that's just showing how that they factored that expression. How would the equation of h of x simplify from this to this? Okay, so we looked at that above. So that x's reduced and equal 1, x plus 5's cancel and equal 1, and that leaves only x plus 3. So it says write simple numbers to complete the explanation. All right, so this is this, and it says equals x over x times this, and x plus 5 over x plus 5. Since x over x equals 1, and this equals 1, we can rewrite this expression as 1 times x plus 3. So 1 equals x plus 3, I think. Okay, good. All right, so h of x was simplified to x plus 3 because both of those terms reduce and equal 1. When 1 is multiplied by x plus 3, the result is x plus 3. All right, that's all for task 5. If you have any questions, let me know.